Hello everybody, my name is Lake and welcome to Trash Games Tuesday, the show where we take free games and we find out if they're trash or treasure. Now if you're watching this the day of, you're going to be like, but Lakin, it's not Tuesday, so why? Yeah. Well, it's a long story, and to that I say, you goddamn hungry animals should be glad you got anything at all. Let's talk about Dark and Darker. I've been playing a lot of this game recently. I think I've logged about 10 hours on it so far since last week, and I think I'm sort of qualified to speak on it at this time. More qualified than I usually am for Trash Games Tuesday at any rate, so what's good about it? And most importantly, what is Dark and Darker? Well, if you're familiar with Escape from Tarkov, it's basically that, except you're in Dungeons & Dragons. If you don't know what Escape from Tarkov is, let me explain the extraction shooter genre to you. Basically, you get in, you loot, you get out. If you die while you're on the map, you lose all your shit. Hardcore, rage-inducing, sometimes toxic. Okay, all times toxic. Especially in games that have VoIP or proximity chat, which Dark and Darker does. If you're looking for a healthy dosage of in-game trash talk, you're gonna get it here. But I digress. So it's an extraction shooter, basically Dungeons & Dragons. You've got 8 classes. Let's see if I can name all of them. Warrior, Rogue, Barbarian, Bard, Wizard, Druid, Warlock. Now I'm at 7. There's one more. What is it? Oh well. Did I say Rogue? Maybe that's it. So anyway, I selected a Barbarian because I don't want to have to think too much about my playstyle. I just want to hit people really hard with a big sharp stick. And that's basically what it came down to. Now this game immediately holds multiple massive advantages over Escape from Tarkov in my opinion. And I would like to say once more, I am qualified to speak on this. I have way too much time on Tarkov, like upwards of 200 hours. I played that game for many years now and I quit it, like many. So let me tell you what makes this game better than Tarkov. And I wouldn't say it's overall better, but it definitely has some merits that cue me into the fact that the devs seem to understand the shortcomings of Tarkov enough to work around them here. And the first is that this game is free. Now, you all saw the controversy over Tarkov's like $250 edition bullshit that they pretty quickly tried to backpedal on. Also, they're breaking promises from old versions, yada yada. Well, here comes Dark and Darker. Base game is free, but if you want to upgrade, it's only $30 and you cannot buy any versions other than that. You're looking at a minimum $30 purchase here, which you could buy if you decide you really like the game, and you probably will. But most importantly, the game is extremely playable just in the free game state. I could see why you would probably want more character slots though. The second thing that immediately makes this better than Tarkov in my opinion is the optimization. It's no secret that Escape from Tarkov is probably one of the most terribly optimized games you can get on a computer. It seems to go extremely far out of its way to torture your hardware and especially your poor RAM sticks. And some of the maps, Streets of Tarkov, are so terribly optimized that they don't even run on really high-end rigs. I for one have a computer good enough to run and record most modern titles, and I literally cannot even load into Streets of Tarkov. This game ran beautifully. More importantly, I was able to record it. Recording while playing a game takes a decent amount of resources, so I value games that are optimized well enough that I'm able to run the recording software at the same time. So thank you for that, Dark and Darker. For the record, I was also on high. Now, the music, the sound effects, everything here, it's crisp. There's not much to say about it. The combat is very reminiscent of Chivalry. That's basically the biggest vibe I get here. It's very, I'm pretty sure it's Chivalry inspired. It's like Chivalry except maybe a little bit more stiff. Now the NPCs are fun and engaging to fight. They're deadly without feeling unfair. Honestly, I think I've died to more NPCs than I have players. Sometimes you just get really unlucky. And this will happen a lot to you in this game because let me tell you, everything in these dungeons is out to get you. This game's environment feels extremely deadly in a way Escape from Tarkov's environment does not. Spike traps, gigantic swinging axes, flame traps, monsters appearing out of nowhere. You name it. And the monster variety here is pretty massive. Like, they have a very wide selection of monsters across all the maps. I haven't even seen all of them yet. And so I can't help but just being very impressed by this game, especially since it's still in an early access state, and it's very clear to me that they intend to add more later on. I'm very excited to see where it goes. Some of the shop and questing systems do feel a little bit strange though. It's like Tarkov's except a little bit less refined, and how kind of linear it is isn't as clear. The shops reset and carry random items each time you come out of a raid. They never carry any good stuff. There aren't opportunities to buy good things from these shops. It seems like the good stuff you get is either going to be from quests, random rewards, or finding it on the map. Now, as for what leveling up merchants does, you're going to unlock more items for your squire, which is this game's antithesis to the scav system in Escape from Tarkov. You basically just get a base gear set that you're able to equip on your player for free. It looks good, but it sucks. Don't be mistaken. Anyway, this game is a good lot of fun. Let's talk about what's wrong with it. Now, it's no secret, it would seem to me that there are some classes in this game that are simply stronger than others or just have way more utility. In a team-based situation, this is fine, but in a 1v1 scenario, not so much. I don't see a possible timeline where a druid wins against a barbarian one-on-one. It's simply not going to happen. The druid either has to run away or, I mean, yeah, I guess that's it. Just fucking run for the hills, little guy. Because a barbarian could crack that motherfucker's head in one shot. Literally one shot. You're dead. And it's in this way that I feel like the class system in this game is sort of designed to work around teams. That, or the game is designed to have you be like, this character is for when I'm in teams, and I use this character when I'm going solo. But you can't do that because you kind of have to buy it to get more character slots. So talking purely off of the free version, it's a little unbalanced and it feels more augmented towards team play. But that's not the only thing about the imbalance of combat though. The next thing is a problem that Escape from Tarkov also has. Now in Dark and Darker, if you have below 25 gear score, you get put in a separate lobby. The only problem with that is that it's pretty easy to surpass 25 gear score, and just because you have more than 25 gear score does not mean your gear is good. You could have 30 gear score and this game is going to slap you into a lobby with people who could have hundreds, 300, 400. I don't know how high it's possible for you to go. I've seen someone with 300 in a lobby before though. And let me tell you, when someone with 40 gear score encounters someone with 300 gear score, that is not a battle. That is a one-sided massacre. There's no other way to describe it. It's very reminiscent of Escape from Tarkov when, say you're carrying a dinky little pistol, some guy comes out with a beefy metal helmet, you just start nailing him in the head with the bullet, dump a whole mag, nothing happens. That would have killed a guy in real life, but not in Tarkov, I guess. Same deal happens here. Really, you just get one bang by some extremely overpowered gear, and you're like, you know what, maybe I'm just going to keep my gear score to below 25. Because even when you're below 25, it's not like it increases the loot at all when you go above it. In my opinion, it's better to just stay below 25 and play in a lobby where everything is kind of equal level if you could still get the same stuff. Or they could just easily fix this problem by making the lobbies go up in, let's say increments of 50, right? But honestly, most of the players you encounter this game will be friendly. Some are toxic, usually in the high gear score lobbies they are, go figure. But I've encountered more nice people or people that didn't want to fight than I have people that wanted to kill me. So let me give my final review of Dark and Darker. Honestly, this game is a 8.5 out of 10. When it's finished, it's going to be great. Not a doubt in my mind. The combat and the gear score system 100% needs some polish though, and that's probably my biggest complaint here. If you can't tell, I'm sick and I'm kind of getting tired of talking now, so I'm going to head out. I love you all and I'll see you next time. Ciao.